this video, I'm going to help you prepare for your coastal geography assessment. I'm going to go through each of the main learning outcomes that you are going to be assessed on and give you some indication of what it is you need to revise in preparation. So first of all, the first learning outcome is about the processes of erosion, ASH. That is abrasion, solution, hydraulic action. And what you want to be able to do is write down in detail what each of these actually means. How does it work? So you want to be able to write that down on a piece of paper and write down a full description of each of them. The second learning outcome is in relation to using your jotter to be able to draw a diagram to show the formation of a feature. So I've got an example here of a headland and bay, and you will be asked to draw a diagram with all of the labels, and that's these things here with the arrows, in order to help the person looking at your diagram understand how the feature is created. And there were three main coastal erosion features you studied. There was the cliff and the wake-up platform, the headland and bay, and the arch, stag and stubble. So it could be any or all of those different features. One thing to bear in mind when you draw this diagram, because you'll be using words like abrasion, solution, hydraulic action, this is where I would encourage you when you're writing your answers to give a full description using your knowledge. So rather than just name it, a really good answer wouldn't just name it. A really good answer would have written hydraulic action and then tell me what it was if I was drawing a diagram to show the formation of this feature. So make sure you can do that for all of the diagrams that are to do with the erosion of the coast. But the third learning outcome is linked to the second. The difference is, instead of drawing a diagram, you have to be able to write an answer. Now, if you look in your jotter at the spit, which was a coastal deposition feature made by the sea dropping material, and read this answer here, you would see that what I've written is the same as what the diagram shows. So you are going to be asked to write an answer where you tell me the story. Basically, imagine you weren't allowed to draw a diagram, but you had to tell me everything that this diagram was showing. And that's what writing an answer would look like. The more details, once again, you put into your answer, the higher the mark you get. For example, if you're talking about hydraulic action, then you want to actually describe what it is. Okay. The fourth learning outcome is linked to this one here, that you can describe in detail how the different coastal defences work. Okay, how do they actually protect the land from sea erosion? Here we have a picture of a seawall, and the seawall works in a number of different ways, but you would be asked to describe in as much detail as you can how does this actually help protect the land from sea erosion. And you want to be able to do quite a lot of them, so don't just focus on one. Make sure that you are able to tell me the story of how a number of them work. Once again, the more detail you give in your answer, the better the mark you're going to get. And the final learning outcome is being able to describe the advantages and disadvantages of building sea defences. So if we just have a look at this photograph, for example, here, we can see a sea defence. It's called a groin, and we can see the beach is bigger on this side, and it's not so big on this side. So the groin obviously is creating a beach, and that you would then hopefully be able to explain the advantage of that. But down here we don't have much of a beach, and that becomes a disadvantage. And for each of the different sea defences that you studied, you did consider some pros and cons, or advantages and disadvantages, and you want to be able to do that in as much detail as possible. You're really thinking about why do we build sea defences? Should we build them everywhere? What's the cost of them? Are they all cheap or are they all expensive? Are some suited to some places and not others? And what are we actually protecting? So in this question, you've got to think about a range of different advantages for why we might want to build sea defences, but also some of the problems that can come from building them. Okay, good luck, and I do strongly suggest you make your own written notes using your classroom assignments and stay focused on these different learning outcomes that I've outlined in the video.